Atlanta's history is the world's history. From the fight for civil rights, to literature that defined an era for new generations, to the greatest moments of triumph. Today, history will continue to be written as the best American runners race down Peachtree for a chance to represent their country and make their dreams a reality. The journey to Tokyo begins in Atlanta, the first 26.2 miles to be exact. America's Marathon Weekend on 11 Live starts right now.
We welcome you to downtown Atlanta, the site of America's Marathon Weekend and the 2020 U.S. Olympic Marathon Trials. You are looking high above the start line on Marietta Street on a blustery, biting day where 690 men and women are attempting to make their Olympic dreams become a reality. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are set and ready to go. What a great morning and afternoon it's going to be.
I'm Cheryl Preheim here with Jeff Hollinger under a brilliant blue sky and sunshine with a little wind and chill in the air at Centennial Olympic Park. We've got a great crowd out here to cheer on the Olympic trials, and we have a team for you all along the race course here. We've got an 11 Alive team for you to help you follow today's race. And of course, a huge moment at the Olympic Cauldron happening a little later in the half hour.
Well, you know, there's so much energy here at this start line. I mean, we are just seeing waves and waves of people from all over the nation, all over the country. First time for many of them to be in Atlanta, and they're really excited at the prospect of a marathon trial here.
And it's unique for the fans because the course is set up with a couple of loops. So along the race course, wherever someone is positioned, they'll be able to see the runners pass by a couple of different times. And it's neat because the runners are going to have a chance to see some of the most important attractions in neighborhoods: the Fox Theater, the Margaret Mitchell House, MLK National Park, Mercedes-Benz, and of course the Olympic Cauldron and the Olympic rings. And the Cauldron is going to be lit for the first time in 24 years. It's going to be a significant moment, and we're going to do that here in this broadcast. Caitlin Ross is at the Cauldron. I know GSU's been working on making this possible for more than 2 years now. Caitlin?
This is incredible. There's so much excitement out here at the Cauldron. We've been seeing people come out all morning. They're taking selfies at the rings. They're pointing up at the Cauldron. They can't wait to get this started. I'm joined live by Athletic Director Charlie Cobb to talk about the excitement around this. Georgia State University having this property, deciding to light the Cauldron. This is amazing for you all.
It's a vision that we put forward about 5 years ago, and obviously to be able to pay homage to the Olympics and yet grow our university. It's a really exciting time for our campus.
And we haven't seen this lit up since 1996. When we hit that button, what's it going to look like?
You know, it's pretty exciting, and it's obviously the ceremonial part, but to realize what the Olympics meant to the city and then candidly what the university means to Atlanta as well, it's exciting to be a part of it.
It's going to be incredible. We can't wait to see that lit up. I know Pounce is going to be a big part of that here. He is ready to go, and a lot of people are already coming by to see this lit up, but what I think it's really going to be impressive is when those runners go by. This Cauldron is what they are running for. It's what they're working towards, and definitely going to give them a little extra kick in their step. Now to Matt Pearl, who's at another very impressive Olympic venue.
Hi, Caitlin. I'm here at the Olympic rings inside Centennial Olympic Park. Just one reminder for what all these runners are shooting for: Tokyo 2020. Coming up, I'll look back at the venues of 1996 here in Atlanta and how they're being used today. For now, let's go over to Maria Martin at the finish line.
Thanks a lot, Matt. I'm standing right here at the finish line where after 26.2 miles, the men and women will finish their afternoon. The top 3 men and top 3 women will be competing in Tokyo this summer in the Olympic Games. Now, there's been a lot of fanfare around this finish line this afternoon. Relays happening this morning and music blasting since 6:30 because people are excited for the event that's about to go down. There are 690 athletes that will be running in the Olympic Marathon Trials this afternoon. 450 of those are women. And some of the women are from right here in Atlanta, and some of them train with the Atlanta Track Club. One of those, Morgan Van Gorder. Her name sounds very familiar because her father, Brian Van Gorder, is a former Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator. She's got a competitive spirit, and she's hoping her Olympic dreams can become a reality today.
You can really accomplish whatever goal you set for yourself.
Atlanta native Morgan Van Gorder ready to run in an Olympic marathon trial for the very first time after qualifying at 2:41:15.
I knew if I just kept chipping away each race, I would drop a little bit of time to get closer. And then, the third one, I got it.
The former Georgia Bulldog never had Olympic dreams until she realized that dream might be more obtainable than she thought.
I didn't really realize it was an option really until I joined the Atlanta Track Club team and started running half marathons.
She took 8 months off of running and only had 10 months of training before qualifying for these Olympic trials.
I was burned out a little bit. I'd been training at such a high level, in college, and then I saw some fast times at CIM in 2018. And that re-sparked the fire in me to be like, okay, I just saw all these women run these amazing times. I want to do that.
Being the daughter of a football coach,
it was wonderful watching her compete and grow in that sport. And she's gotten the most out of her ability, which makes me really, really proud in the end of it all.
and a sister to 4 brothers, sports has always been instilled in her since she was young.
And they all say they can beat me, which is not true.
It just means so much to me relative to her. I'm so proud of her.
Cold Pete. Now let's go back to Jeff and Cheryl at the start line.
All right, Maria, thank you very much. And we continue our countdown to the marathon race here on 11 Alive. It all begins at 12 noon. And of course, we have been here before. Back in 1996, we remember these trials for the marathon. It was a great event, an unforgettable event, but there was a lot more than just the athleticism to remember.
We're keeping things.
Morning Rush. We
ahead of the silver medalist, 8 seconds before the bronze medalist. It remains the closest Olympic marathon in history. And like the race itself, time passes by, Cheryl, way too quickly. 24 years ago, seems like the blink of an eye.
It sure does. And now new history for our city. The first 3 men and the first 3 women to cross that line after running 26.2 miles will make the Olympic team for Tokyo 2020. They will be the first official members of Team USA, but after today there'll be a lot more Olympic trials in all the events. Someone to look out for in track and field is decorated Olympian veteran Christian Taylor. He grew up in Fayetteville, about 30 miles south of Centennial Olympic Park, and his parents remember when they realized there was something special about their son.
It's a journey. It's amazing for us.
When Ian and Stephanie Taylor watch their son Christian compete, they think back to the little boy racing his sister all around this house they grew up in.
He would skip a few steps and beat her.
We were racing up the stairs. There's not something that we don't try to better each other in.
It was always some competition going on around the house.
She definitely keeps me on my toes.
Christian was good at every sport he tried, but eventually chose track and field and poured all he had into it.
Hey, there's something outside there besides football. Besides basketball, besides baseball. Track is also there.
I came in, as the new face, as the young one, and now I'm a veteran.
Christian Taylor has won every world triple jump competition in the last 10 years, 2 Olympic gold medals, 4 world championships.
To perform at this level for as long as you have is something really special.
I jump in a sandbox for a living, and so I believe I have the best job in the world. I absolutely love what I do. This lifestyle has just given me so much, and I'm so grateful for that.
To be #1 in the world of all the people who've competed, how did that happen?
Little boy from Fayetteville, Georgia.
Exactly. And that's what he tells people, Fayetteville, Georgia. No, he's #1 in the world.
Part of the build-up to Tokyo 2020.
The expectation is he's going to win gold.
No question, he is the favorite for a 3rd consecutive Olympic gold this summer in Tokyo.
I'm very grateful. God has been extremely good, and hope that someone else is ready to carry the torch when I'm done.
We are so fortunate to have so many impressive Olympians here in our state.
You know, I know we say it all the time about Olympians, but a lifetime of work comes down to just a few moments. Moments that matter not only in the present, but for the rest of their lives. They will be defined by, for better or for worse.
All right, and we have runners getting ready to make their way to the start line here before too long, as America's Marathon Weekend is set to get underway in about 20-30 minutes. We're going to continue our coverage here for your special coverage of the Olympic Marathon Trials in Atlanta when we come back.
The field on Saturday is going to be really, really good.
I think the biggest thing is just remembering to go mile by mile.
I'm going to start with the last question first. How does it feel to be the older one? I feel like I'm actually wiser than all these guys.
I'm not going to give away my secret sauce here.
My wife, she said, I'm just so excited for February 29th because whether you make this team or not, it's going to be over.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta, from movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A Scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed morning rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Jess.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11 Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water, because I'm sugary.
Okay,
Right.
About that.
Well, reward would be
Slimming down. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
A little water in my cup.
And beautiful skin. You know, even more beautiful skin, you know, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11 Alive.
It is a good feeling to know that, people are tuning in and watching, and they're excited to watch what we're competing, what we're excited about, and so it's fun to know that you're really on the world stage.
Put, USA flag on my cap, and I'm like representing something so much bigger than myself, so it's really cool.
Welcome back to America's Marathon Weekend, the best in the country here today for their shot at Tokyo this summer. Of course, Atlanta no stranger to the Summer Games, and while some Olympic cities have had a hard time maintaining their Olympic shine, many of Atlanta's venues still see solid use today.
Atlanta is a city that cultivates its history, and if you look hard enough, you can see Atlanta's Olympic history sprinkled all over.
Venues were built for an afterlife. You fly over Atlanta, and for 14 years you saw a baseball stadium, and now you see a football stadium.
The jewel of the games, Centennial Olympic Stadium, became the home of Braves baseball and now Georgia State football. Many venues have found open arms in academia. Clark Atlanta's stadium hosted field hockey. The Coliseum that housed a boxing ring became Georgia Tech's McCamish Pavilion. And a few blocks down campus, the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center remains sterling as ever. This past December, it hosted the U.S. Open Championships.
That was an amazing deal having it here. It was a certain kind of excitement, and I do think about it every time I walk in.
Other spots are long gone. Fulton County Stadium and the Omni were torn down shortly after the games. The Georgia Dome was imploded a few years back. But next door, the Georgia World Congress Center is still a behemoth, which once hosted fencing, judo, and a half dozen indoor events. Beyond the city, old sites have gotten new looks.
I still have people talk to me that they work the horse stalls out in Conyers, beach volleyball down at Clayton County.
Then there's Gainesville.
People know us from all over.
Lake Lanier Olympic Park has hosted water sports of all stripes, and this year will hold Olympic trials for Team USA and Canada.
This facility and Lake Lanier are known across the world. The tower is iconic.
Perhaps the venue that most screams Olympics never held an Olympic event. Centennial Olympic Park has flourished since the Games. For every major event at the stadium next door, there are concerts and crowds at the park.
For the younger people, it is Centennial Olympic Park. They don't know how it got there, but they know that it has something to do with the Olympics, and it has transformed downtown Atlanta.
Of all the venues sprinkled around, the park is the largest, most central display that reminds Atlantans of the 2.5 weeks nearly 2.5 decades ago, when our city held the eyes of the world.
And of course, one fan reminded me that the park did play host to one significant event, pin trading. Let's send it over to Caitlin Ross over at the Cauldron.
This is so exciting. The Cauldron is about to be lit, and I'll let you in on a little secret here. It's not lit with a match. It's lit by a phone app that we have ready to go. We're joined by the incredible Atlanta Track Club volunteers. We have Pounce, we have the athletic director. Let's go, let's give it a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Yes! You can see it lit. We have cheering from both sides of the street. People are so excited about this. This is going to be the last few miles of this marathon. Those incredible elite runners are going to be running past this cauldron lit up for the first time since the 1996 Olympics. This is going to be the last thing they need to give them that final kick, make it across the finish line. It is going to be incredibly exciting as they come under these Olympic rings. They see this cauldron lit up. This has been an incredible experience. Don't leave now. The marathon trials are about to start. Stay tuned here. We'll have live coverage for the rest of the day. Now they get to run past this incredible lit up cauldron.
People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions, and who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on The Morning Rush on 11 Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11 Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up as a long-distance runner.
Specialty is the marathon.
It is serious business, but maybe not all that serious for Brittany. She is also a stand-up comic.
Don't yell, run, Forrest, run. It's another fun piece of what I do. I incorporate comedy into my running.
An act full of characters, running, and an Olympic dream.
America's Marathon Weekend. Brittany there, the funny runner, one of 690 competing here at the U.S. Olympic Marathon Trials in Atlanta. So happy to introduce the executive director of the Atlanta Track Club, Rich Knaw. I'm in awe of what you all have done. This is a tremendous coup for the city, and so far it seems like it's gone off without a hitch.
Thank you. We've been blessed by the weather gods. A little bit windy here, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous day down right here in Centennial Olympic Park as we look forward to naming the 3 men and the 3 women who will make this team.
For people who don't follow marathon, talk a little bit about the course, if you would. Give us a sense of how Atlanta shapes up against other venues across the country.
It's a great question. This course is what we like to call Atlanta flat, which means it's not flat at all.
Yeah, hills.
So you have athletes from all over the country who have had to adjust their training patterns to deal with the hills, the elevation changes of Atlanta. But we built this so that it would showcase the personality of Atlanta while giving these athletes a taste of our Olympic city.
Yeah, they're going to be able to run past the sights of the city, about a 1,300-foot elevation for the runners. And the detail has really blown my mind. Every runner, little known fact, gets to place 6 water bottles across the course. But when you're placing 690 runners' water bottles, that's a whole engineering feat.
Yeah, do the math. So yesterday, we collected roughly 4,000 bottles. And those athletes gave us those bottles and expected us to put them on a particular table, in a particular spot on a table, on a particular block in the city of Atlanta. So it was an engineering feat that I'm just super proud of that Atlanta Track Club could pull together.
Is there an advantage of running in the cold like this as you prepare during an Olympic year? Does it matter how the climate stands?
A little bit chilly if you're watching, but this is ideal for the athletes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of wind. That'll be the only factor.
The Peachtree, as we know, is only 10K. This is 26 miles. So this 40 to 50 degree weather keeps their body temperature down a lot longer and allows them to sustain that energy.
How significant is this for the city to be able to host the first Olympic qualifier leading into the 2020 Olympic season?
Our main bid pillar was Olympic legacy, Olympic future. We wanted, quite literally, to reignite that Olympic fever that we had in '96, and it sounds like a few minutes ago that cauldron got lit thanks to Georgia State and Charlie Cobb.
Perfect.
So this is just a big, big boost for the city.
Quickly, where were you in 1996 for the marathon when it was here?
I was watching it on television.
All right, we'll continue our coverage right after this. Thank you so much, and congratulations, Rich.
All right, the broadcast continues. Joining us next will be a former Olympic medalist in the marathon. We have a lot to talk about. The race is coming up just a couple of minutes away. You're watching America's Marathon Weekend on 11 Alive.
Picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibes. Vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate, we just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hence. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue.
So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11 Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun. And they're convenient. But they're...
Welcome back to America's Marathon Weekend. The racers have made their way to the start line. It's getting close now.
It is getting very close. The runners are just about to start. You can kind of sense that sort of vibe that's going on right now. And we are joined by a man that we saw 2 years ago for the Peachtree Road Race. In fact, Meb Kezleski is here, and it is always a great joy and a pleasure. Exciting for this marathon as opposed to a 10K for you?
Absolutely. This is where the decision going to be made to make the Olympic team, and the men and the women is going to make select top 3, the best in the United States represent all our country.
Yeah. 6 people who are in our city today will compete for Team USA in Tokyo. Who do you think people at home should be watching?
You know, it's exciting with a lot of qualifiers, but Emily Sisson on the women's, and Leonard Courier is going to be hopefully in the men, but Jerry Ward is going to give a run for the money and rub. So it's going to be very exciting. Stay tuned, because a marathon, a lot of it can happen. Just, you know, keep the TV on and cheer them on.
When you think about the marathon, what sort of strategy do you want to employ? Do you want to get off to a quick start, or does it not matter how you begin, but rather how you end?
This is tactical race, so the first hour and a half is going to be a little bit relaxed unless somebody make a decisive move legitimately. But just be patient and wait for the end, because the marathon is a grueling event, and the hills of Atlanta is going to be challenging, and the wind is there, so tactical is going to be very important.
But the hills in Atlanta are brief, because when you struggle to go up, you know that very quickly you will be going down.
Absolutely, the ups and downs of the hills, whoever can run well in cross-country courses in high school, college, and professional will pay off.
Yeah. Just for some perspective, talk about the pace that these runners will be running at, the elite ones. 26.2 miles running, 5-minute or less miles for the most part?
Absolutely. It's a 5-minute pace, about 2:11, and it's a group. But the preparation is the key to success, and those all elite athletes, men and women, has prepared their body, their mind, and soul for this. I've been working very hard for this day.
Yes.
So it's very excited. Whoever can be patient and push hard, who can ever run the fastest mile at the end will be able to have go to make it.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it so much.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
The time is almost here for the Olympic Marathon trials to begin here at Centennial Olympic Park in Atlanta. Within the next little bit, we will know the first 6 members of Team USA to compete for the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, Japan. It is the start of the journey to Tokyo, and it starts here in Atlanta with the Olympic cauldron lit for the first time in 24 years, and they'll pass by it as they approach the finish line.
Yeah, I love having the runners here, but the cauldron being lit, there's something about that's kind of stirring today. It takes us back 24 years ago when this city was abuzz with Olympic fever, and today that same energy has been replicated.
All right, enjoy the race here on 11 Alive.
This broadcast is presented by the authority of the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee.